Hello and welcome to the video. Today I'm going to do a haul of the Spring Summer 25 stuff that I have got. Just before we get started, I wanted to remind everyone that no one needs all of this stuff, and hopefully these comparisons can help you decide which, if any, of these products you want, especially for all the different colours. So the first thing I got was these Capella boots. I just velcroed them together for storage. This is the brown set. One thing to note is on the website they say that they have elastic to do them up, but they just have this velcro. I don't think it makes them any worse or anything, it's just an observation as to what it says on the website and what you actually get. That's the front pair, and here, that one, that's the back pair, and they come in a set of these 4 boots. And again, I velcroed them together just to keep them together so they don't get lost. And then I also got these in black. So here's the black set, we grab them. So same thing, but in black. And we'll just push those to the side and I will grab the next thing. So this is the new Hunter bridle. The bridle itself, from what I can tell, is identical to the previous one. But the reins are obviously different. They're this kind of plaited, they're not plaited, but that kind of texture. And they're not held together very neatly, but it's only on the inside and they couldn't really do anything else because it would be too bulky. But they are really nice. But again, the bridle is exactly the same as the original one. It's just the different reins. So let's just put that down, and the next thing I got here is the Hunter saddle pad, which has a lovely fluffy edge. Just one thing about it is, I'll show you some photos in a second, is it really shedded the first few times. I don't know if it'll keep shedding, but all the times I've used it so far it has shed quite a lot. It has a matching fluffy girth, which again is really soft. It only works with some of the saddles, and I will do a video showing which ones it's compatible with and which ones it isn't, but it isn't compatible with absolutely all of them, but it is most of them. As promised, here are the photos of all the shedding that came off on the horse. I don't know if it'll keep doing that or whether it's done now, but something to note. The next thing I got was the Grackle bridle. This is the black one, and the brow band and earpiece is the same, but of course it's got this different nose. The one on the website is as pictured here, and it has elastic nose band, but this one is leather except for a little section at the bottom. It's quite fiddly to put on, and I will do a video showing you how to fit them at some point. The next thing that I got was the jumping saddle. This is the girth, and this is the only girth that has a little hook for you to attach the martingale. And it's shaped so that it protects the horse's tummy when they're jumping. It's a bit ugly on the underside, but they can't really do anything about that without making it really thick. But I thought I'd point it out to you. This is the jumping saddle. It is mostly the same as the original one. As you can see, it's got the kind of 3 layers, and there's much more padding in the saddle itself, and there's kind of a bend here. So it's a bit more shaped like a real saddle is. This bit's also a lot more curved than the original, and there's no knee rolls. There's a slight knee roll on the original one. Okay, right, so that's all of the tack I got. Let's push that away, and now onto the saddle pads and other coloured accessories. The first I got was the Badminton set, so here's the saddle. I really like the piping around the edge. We've got the 3 colours, and then the central, I think they call it cherry, I can't remember. And then of course the flyhead matches, and I really like the outer edge of the kind of 2-tone crochet. And then here of course is the matching head collar. The fabric's just a bit ruffled there, there's nothing wrong with the T, there you go. And then the next thing I got was the matching boots for this set. These and the previous year's Badminton ones are the only one with a stripe through it like that, which I think looks quite cool. And I velcroed them together for storage again. So there they are. Just fold them back up. So that's the badminton set. I quite like this, and it is a different colour to the ember from last winter, which I wasn't sure how different it was. Here's the comparison of all of the closest colours. Next up we have Lagoon. I can't remember what it's called then. So here's Lagoon, and the Lagoon halter or head colour, whatever you want to call it. The piping on this is a slightly lighter colour, which is the easiest way to distinguish it from the azure, the kind of standard azure which they sell. I do quite like this colour, but it's probably not worth buying if you already have the Lagoon. Sorry, if you already have the azure. So here it is with the closest colours, and here it is compared with azure, because again they're really similar. So I just wanted to show off how alike they are in case you have one or the other and you're considering getting the other. So the azure is a bit brighter and the Lagoon's a bit more darker. Depends what you personally prefer. The next thing I got was the Blossom, which if you already have pink quartz is not worth buying. The only real difference is this ear bonnet has some pink lining around it instead of the grey seen in the pink quartz. Here's the head collar halter, which has slightly lighter padding around the nose and ears. Here are the polo wraps. I have both the pink quartz and the Blossom, and you just can't tell them apart easily, even when you're holding them and they're in the exact same lighting or in sunlight. You just can't tell them apart. So here is the picture of them and the similar colours. So they're all the pinks, and just a comparison of pink quartz and Blossom, because I really cannot tell them apart. The easiest way to tell them apart is they have slightly different labels, because the newer labels are slightly different now, and of course the Blossom's kind of highlight colour is a bit lighter than the pink quartz's was. And here you can see what I was saying about the piping. If you didn't manage to get the pink quartz, I would recommend the Blossom. Right, on to the next colour. We have the Hunter Green here, which has the grey piping around the ear bonnet, rather than a different colour as seen in the pink quartz and the Lagoon from this year. And then I also got the head collar or halter, whatever you want to call it, in this colour, which again really like. And then I got the polo wraps as well, which are just here, and they all match nicely, and again really do like this colour. When you compare it with all of the newer colours, it makes the old evergreen look really blue, as you can see here. The next colour I got, as you can see here, is the ice blue. The binding is grey again. I quite like this colour. It is similar to some of the previous colours. Again, they seem to do a blue on every release, so this is one of the blues. It is quite similar to the Blue Jay from last year again. I do quite like the head collar, which has the matching stitching on it, and then as you can see when you compare it to the other colours, it is quite similar to the Blue Jay, which is the one next to it. The final colour that I got was this, which I believe is the Benton blue. I'm going to have to check that. I quite like this colour as well. It's nice and bright. The saddle pad, however, I'm less of a fan of. I don't really like these rectangles, rather than, as you can see, all the other ones, they have this square pattern. I prefer the squares to the rectangles, but maybe some of you prefer the rectangles. Also, don't really know what's going on with the grey around the edge. Let me know what you think of that down in the comments. And then here it is compared with all of the other closest to it blues.